Hello, this is Burrow from Digital Wood Carver, and we're going to do a little tutorial on BobCad V27. I'll probably do two of them. One of them fairly quick, going through it, kind of showing you what it is. If you catch the everything in that video, then you're done. And then what we'll do is we'll pull in another one and do it a little bit slower, going step by step each click. So here we go. First thing we want to do is hit File. We're going to do a merge since I already have a screen open. One of the things is I'm importing a DXF, so I go down here to File Type and click DXF. 7x7 rack is what we're going to include, and there imports the DXF. This is the center or 0 point on my reference, so everything's going to be from this place up. So when I bring my router bit down with on my machine, this is where I'm going to start and put my wood. In this case, we're cutting plastic. We're going to put it up in this direction. So we got the file in there. We're going to come over to Cam, go up to Cam Default, right click, click New Job. First thing we're going to have to do is do a stock wizard. Now what I'm going through here is where the artwork is already finished, so it's already in here. We're going to continue to go through that. It will default and put that where you over top of your artwork. Just hit OK. From there, then we can come up and do our creator features. I noticed my post processor there needs to be changed. I have a new post processor for V27, and it's called DWC V27. So you're welcome to, if you don't have that, shoot me an email and I can email that post processor to you. The other one should work fine. It's just I've updated it. Hadn't done that in a while with BobCad. So once we've got the post processor set what we want here, then we're going to right click on machine setup, and we're going to go down here. We're going to cut this part out, so we're going to use a mill to axis. We click on that. We're going to, first thing that's going to pop up in our wizard is a select geometry. Now I will tell you, it's very careful that on selecting geometry, when we cut this part out, first thing we're going to do is cut out all these holes in the center, and then we're going to cut out on the outside. So I'm going to create a box around these holes. You'll see, kind of see that they're red. All of them's red with my mouse off of it. Once I do that, I can either hit this check here or hit my space bar on my keyboard. Once they're selected, the wizard will pop back up. If that wizard does not pop back up, they did not get selected. So we'll go from there. Then we hit next. And going through here, this is our rapid plane. This is how far the bit will come up above the workpiece between holes in this case. This is going to be our depth of our cut. In this case, it's going to be an 1/8 inch. So we can either put in decimal. Now you can type in 1 divided by 8. You click that in there, and it will put the decimal in there for you. As a general rule, because we're cutting this out, we'll have a sacrifice board under it. I like going just a little bit deeper. That way you cut completely through your piece of material that you're cutting. So I'm going to go about 30 thousandths, a 30-second deeper than what it really is. Then we're going to hit next. Top of feature is going to be 0, meaning that we're going to bring our bit down to the top of the material and 0 it out on top of the material. What this is this is it's a new thing they put in V27, but it's our strategy. Profile is what we're going to use today. As you pick on these different features, you'll see a little picture here showing you what they are. We're going to do profile. Now in this case, we're not going to have finished cuts on this, so we're going to come down here to this current operation, and we're going to delete the finished cut. Now if we wanted to bring other features in, we could and have multiple layers here. But for this, we're going to have one operation. It's going to simply come in, first cut out these holes. That's what we're creating now, and then we'll cut out the outside. So we're going to hit next. Here's where we're going to select or do our bit. We can just simply type in. We're going to use a 1/4 inch bit. Now I know the decimal for that. It's not going to be a radius. and we can come down here to use the others. We don't generally worry about the length and stuff like that. Really, it's the diameter and the if we're using a radius for a ball mill. And then the two that we're worried about in this list of items here is my cutting feed rate. That's set at 10. I'm going to go up to, in this case, I think 20 should do it. It's only an 1/8 inch material. Plunge feed rate, I'm going to put at 15, which is going to make that a little bit slower. And then we'll go next. Now here, the compensation, the left and right, as we click on those, you notice how it goes on one side or the other or off. Left or right, you just kind of guess on that, depending upon how it looks at this. We can certainly come back and change it, and I'll show you how to do that. Side allowance, we don't want it to be anything. This is where we could make a side allowance, meaning it would cut out a hole and then it would come back and clean that hole up, which may not be necessarily a bad thing. In this case, our material is not thick enough to do multiple cuts. We're going to do a single step. Leads, we're not going to change anything there, or corner types. You can click on the different things and see how they do it, but we don't need to. No sorting, we want these to be the closest, however it figures it up. Certainly we can select on that. We don't mind doing a zigzag pattern either. Zigzag means it's going to go here and back and forth on that. Okay, you notice how our next is grayed out. We're going to hit compute, or we could hit finish, but we're going to go ahead and hit compute. And you notice the little green lines are inside the circles, so that is where I would want to, that's where I want it. For some reason, if that if that was on the outside, we would simply come up to feature, right click and do an edit, and then we click on patterns and come over here, and I'm going to show you what it will do. We'll compute it, see how they're on the outside. Now we've got to go back real quick and put it back on the left hand side because we want that to be on the inside. Now I'm going to rotate this just a hair, and we can rotate it by clicking on the rotate button, taking our mouse and rotating it. See how it's got a little depth. See how those little circles are going to be down an 1/8 inch, actually a little more than 1/8 inch. We're going to click on this button to make it come back straight. Our next, we're going to cut this part out. We're going to come up here. We can select right here. We're going to do an insert mill 2-axis and really do the same thing, but we're going to select on the outside. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm holding the shift key down as I'm selecting this outside line, and you notice how the whole outside perimeter changed to red. That means I selected that. So instead of creating a box or selecting on all the segments of this, if you'll hold your shift key down, it will allow you to select the whole string. That will also show you whether a string is connected all the way around too. If it only goes around part way, then that means that line is not connected all the way around. Once again, either hitting this check up here for OK or my space bar. And then the wizard pops back up. We're going to go to next. Remember our depth, we end up going with 1.15. Go to next. Remember we took off the finish, so we just have one process here. We'll go to next. Not going to change anything on posting. Now you notice this looks like it defaulted to what we used the last time. So this time I don't have to change it, still 1/4 inch. Looks like my feed rate changed back, so we'll put those at 20, whoops, 20 and 15. We'll go to next. This time, because we were left on the inside, good chance it's going to be right to go on the outside. Go back here and change the side allowance. Make sure that's 0, single step. Everything looks good there. Let's go to next. Nothing on the leads. It's plunged straight down. Corner's not going to change. We'll do that. Well, we don't need to because this is just going to be a one operation. But anyhow, let's hit compute. There we go. the green line on the outside. So this is a finished product. You notice over here that the default start points, we could select those. You know, I'm not even sure where I would want to select on this, but if we could go and modify that. Where's the little click modify? It looks like it's going to start here. If I wanted that to start there, I just click on it, hit my space bar, and that's where it would start and go around. Click on different parts. Okay, so now we got the toolpath created. Now we are ready to go up and create the G-code. That's what the USB CNC is going to use. So we come up here to milling jobs and we right click on it, and one of the things I would highly suggest doing right at this moment is come up and let's do a file, save as, or save our file, our BobCad file. And in this case, I believe that was a 7x7. It's 0.25 thick. I kind of write my descriptions. 2.5 cutter. Kind of write my descriptions of what it is on that. I hit save. And then one of the things is if you save the file first, you come back up to milling jobs and you do a post and save as, it will save that name. And it's important that you select the right folder. In this case, I want this to go in customer folder, and it's a particular person that I'm putting it in, and we hit save. And it'll take a second for it to process, and you see over here it is created. That's the G code. Now that file is ready to go into USB CNC.